Hello, my dear students. Welcome back. It's social time again. I want you to take out your social textbook, activity book, notebook, and a pencil. Our lesson for today is Lesson 5 Historical Records. The concept of our lesson for today is ancient people developed ideas and inventions that we still use today, such as political treaties, libraries, and systems of measurement. But before we begin our lesson for today, I want you to watch this video.
Hello, I am a Bullis student tutor. In this video, we are going to analyze one of ancient history's most famous legal documents, Hammurabi's Law Code. These sets of laws were made by King Hammurabi in ancient Mesopotamia circa 1750 BC. These laws would forever change the justice system, even to modern day. Before we divulge ourselves into the tenets of this law code, let's meet the creator. Hammurabi was born circa 1810 BC in Babylon, modern-day Iraq. The lasting contribution of Hammurabi on Babylonian society was his set of laws written on 12 stones and displayed publicly for all to see. He died circa 1750 BC in Babylon, reaching the age of 60. This was also the year of his master creation, Hammurabi's Code of Law. Another notable accomplishment was his expansion of the city-state, Babylon, to unite southern Mesopotamia. We are forever grateful for the work of Hammurabi in creating one of the first fair and consistent law codes. Imagine life back in ancient Mesopotamia before Hammurabi. The laws continuously changed for a sole person, making it hard to judge a fair trial and hold a consistent punishment system. Let me set the scene for you. You're in a courthouse. There is a judge, a plaintiff who is nobility, and a defendant who is a commoner. And just a quick little side note, the characters I chose for the scene do not model what an ancient Babylonian would have looked or dressed like. However, I do believe they do a fitting job of representing the situation at the time. Back to our scenario. The plaintiff presents an outrageous case that's just not true. The defendant tries to refute the claim, but the judge already has his mind set. He rules against you and gives you a terrible punishment. Before Hammurabi, this would be a normal occurrence because there was no set law through all the land. The powerful would take advantage of the weak. Hammurabi was sick of this and declared, "He shall make justice visible in the land to destroy the wicked person and the evildoer. The strong might not injure the weak." In short, Hammurabi sought to bring order and stability to a society changing for the worse. To sum up all 282 laws inscribed on the 12 stones would be a difficult task. I believe the best way to give you a glimpse of what was detailed is through revealing two major ideas of the law code: law of retaliation in kind and law of penalty according to rank. Like any other complex society, Babylonia was socially stratified. There were wealthier noble persons, lower class persons or commoners, and slaves. The punishment depended on the classes involved. For the law of retaliation in kind, in cases involving equal classes, the penalty given would equal the crime committed. For the law of penalty according to rank, in cases involving unequal classes, the penalty given would depend on the class of the victim and the class of the criminal. These laws kept society stable by discussing ideas of moral values, religion, class structure, and gender relationships. Let's take a look at two examples. Our first example will use the law of retaliation in kind. And for your knowledge, a patrician is an aristocrat or a nobleman. If a patrician has knocked out the tooth of a man that is his equal, his tooth shall be knocked out as well. Our second example will practice the law of penalty according to rank. It involves a patrician who violated a plebeian, which is another word for commoner. Since the patrician is of higher class, the penalty will probably be less. If he has knocked out the tooth of a plebeian, he shall pay 1/3 of a mina of silver. Notice the difference there. When it was equal classes, the punishment was the same, but when there were different classes, the higher class got the easier punishment. And yes, in case you were wondering, this is an actual example from Hammurabi's code. The most famous saying we hear when referencing this law code is an eye for an eye. Like we just learned, if a man blinds another man of equal class, he too will be blinded. You removed the work of his eye, and he removed the work of yours in return, like stated by the law code. While providing a basis of much of today's law, Hammurabi's law code gave us much insight about the values and cultures of ancient Mesopotamia. Thanks, Hammurabi. Before we end this video, I want to throw out a bit of art history for you. What is on the screen right now is a stele of King Hammurabi that is located above the cuneiform script on the law code. What is happening in the relief is the god Shamash is handing Hammurabi the law code. This simple sculpture reveals much more than meets the eye on Hammurabi and his place in society. Take size, for example. The god Shamash is larger proportionally, but not by much, so this could have keyed that Hammurabi saw himself of equal importance to the god. It also depicts that Hammurabi met with the god in the absence of an interpreter, meaning he established a close relationship with the deity. The way that Hammurabi is depicted in this relief shows that he had a great sense of divine power over the people he ruled, the mere mortals. This image deifies Hammurabi. This has been a Bullis Student Tutors video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the rest of the videos on this page. Thanks for watching.
Page 91, Lesson 5, Historical Records. This pillar recorded Hammurabi's Code. 282 laws made by the king Hammurabi of Babylon. Here in this picture you can see the pillar, 282 laws made by King Hammurabi of Babylon. It was displayed in the city square. City square is an open public space commonly found in the heart of a traditional city used for community gatherings. Today you can see part of it at a museum called the Louvre in Paris, France. This was one of the first treaties to settle an argument between two places. In this picture you can see the treaty. A treaty is a formal written agreement between two places to settle an argument between them. In the treaty, the Hittites and the Egyptians agreed not to attack one another and to also help to protect one another. Hittites, ancient people in northern Syria. Now the questions here are, why do you think Hammurabi Code was displayed in the city square? Number 2, where could you find the laws of your country? Page 92. The Assyrians built the first library in Nineveh. Nineveh, the capital of ancient kingdom of Assyria, was located on the banks of Tigris River in the area of present-day Iraq. This library contained 25,000 clay tablets. As in this picture, you can see one of the library's clay tablets that tells the story of the Great Flood. Clay tablets were used in ancient times as writing medium. Characters or symbols were imprinted on wet clay tablets. Once written upon, the tablets were dried in the sun or air. Now in this picture you can see how books are made today. The first step is typing of the book. After typing, the book is sent for printing. After the printing, the printouts are sent for cover binding. After that, we have our books. Then the books are kept in the library for public display. Now the questions here are, compare how stories were recorded in the past and how they are recorded today. How has technology changed the way we record history? Page 93. The Egyptians measured length in cubits. A cubit was the length from the tip of the forefinger to the elbow. Later, the standard cubit was equal to 52 centimeter. Egyptians also divided the cubit into shorter measures. 1 cubit equal to 7 palms, 1 palm equal to 4 fingers wide. Egyptian surveyors used measuring instruments for building. The marquette was made from a palm leaf. Surveyors gazed through the slit to set out a straight line. In this picture, you can see a marquette. They used the egg-shaped groma. This picture shows a groma to make the square corners and plumb lines. This picture shows a plumb line to ensure surfaces were level. Now the questions here are, what instruments and tools do we use to measure today? How are these the same? How are they different? I want you to take out your activity books now. Page 61. Lesson 5, Historical Records. The instructions for the first activity are, complete the following equations and then draw pictures to illustrate them. A. In the box you will write 1 cubit is equal to palms. How many palms? 7 palms. And then in the box you will draw 7 palms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. B. 1 palm is equal to how many fingers? 4 fingers. So you will draw 4 fingers in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the second one. Label the pictures. In the box, the options are given for you and you will write those options under the pictures. Ancient treaty, marquette, groma, Hammurabi's code. The first one, Hammurabi's code. Number 2, groma. Then marquette. The last one is ancient treaty. Page 62 of your activity book will be your homework. So here's our worksheet. The vocabularies are legacy, something that happened in the past or that comes from someone in the past. Laws, a rule made by the government. Treaty, an official agreement that is made between 2 or more countries or groups. Cubit, Egyptians measured length, which is from the tip of forefinger to the elbow. Marquette, Egyptians measuring instrument that was made from a palm leaf. Groma, Egyptian surveying instrument used in making square corners. Plumb line, Egyptians surveying instrument used to ensure surfaces were leveled. So again the key concept here is ancient people developed ideas and inventions that we still use today, such as political treaties, libraries, and systems of measurement. The first activity here is identify the following Egyptian surveying instrument. The first one is marquette. The second one is groma. So here's the second page of our worksheet. The picture shows a plumb line. Question number 2. Identify the way of recording stories nowadays. The first step is typing. The second step is printing. The third step, binding. Question number 3. Fill in the blanks with the correct word Choose your answer inside the box. The options given to us in the box are cubit, building, palm leaf, groma, plumb lines. Number 1. The Egyptians measured length in cubit. Number 2. Egyptian surveyors used measuring instruments for building. The market was made from a palm leaf. Egyptians used the cross-shaped groma to make square corners. Number 5. Egyptian surveyors used plumb line to ensure surfaces were level. So these are our important details. I want you to write these important details in your notebook. Ancient people developed ideas and inventions that we still use today, such as political treaties, libraries, and systems of measurement. For more videos about this lesson, you can click on the links posted on our weekly plan. So that's the end of our lesson for today. Bye bye and thank you.